Welcome to the Lindsay and Tony podcast, where we talk about spirituality, business, and life experiences.
In this podcast, we're bringing our private conversations to you.
We believe that it's through discussion, action, and reflection that true change occurs. Hi guys, welcome to episode 31, Are You a Giver or a Taker? In this episode, you will learn the importance of being able to give and receive throughout your life. You will also learn what to look for when receiving from people. Hi guys, welcome back. We are talking all about if you are a giver or you're a taker. There's going to be different moments in your life that come up where you are ready to give. There's also going to be moments where you want to take even after you give. So we want to ask that question. Which one are you?
Yeah, and in this episode, we want to show you that there's a law of giving to where when you focus on giving, you actually receive automatically. And we know that as empaths, you might take that the wrong way to where you're just giving, and then you find yourself to where you're depleted.
And that happens. That's something that can happen so easily, where you have that and you feel out of balance, you feel drained, and you're like, why am I helping all these people? And I feel so drained. And that's why we have to figure out, what is the right balance of giving and receiving. And I think the big question is, are you giving to receive a compliment? Or are you giving to receive control? Because that can come up. I mean, we've had personal experiences in both of our lives where you can feel that energy shift when someone's trying to give to get control. And that's not a good feeling. It feels totally different than someone genuinely really wanting to give.
Especially as highly sensitive, empathic people where you could feel the energy and the intention of everything.
Right.
Someone's like, hey, I want to do this for you, and then it happens, and then you just feel like, oh, I should have never done this.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there before? Think about that and trust your intuition on that. And more times than not, that'll mean that the person's actually giving, like Lindsay said, to receive. So we don't want to get to that space to where we're giving to receive. We actually want to get to the mindset to where we're giving to give. That's
right.
it, without attachment to anything. And yeah, that seems like it could be a hard mindset or a hard place to get to, but it's actually real simple once you begin to do it.
Yeah, and I think the first thing is make sure that when you yourself are giving, you're giving from a place of wanting to do that. Energetically, you feel good about it in the moment. You're not doing it because you feel guilty. And it's something that could come up too, as highly sensitive people. Like, I feel like I should be doing this, even though you secretly don't want to do it. So think about where you're coming from when you're giving, but also be ready to receive. So when someone gives you a compliment, or someone wants to take you out to dinner, or someone wants to hold the door for you, how are you receiving those little things? Are you receiving them gracefully, or is it very uncomfortable and you feel uneasy about it?
Exactly, because that's part of the process too, is say you are someone who gives. If you don't know how to receive, it's actually, you're still going to be depleted. So you're in the same bad place as somebody else who's always focusing on taking. They're depleted. That's why they're always focused on taking. So it's a whole process that we have to learn. We have to get to the place where we're focusing on giving all of the time. And what I mean by that is not just to other people. First, give to yourself. Give the self-care that you need. Do the hobbies that you love. Follow the passions. Follow your heart and your instinct and your gut instinct, what it's telling you to do in each moment. And make sure that you fill your cup up. That way you actually can give to other people. So we want to get to the space to where we're always giving, but first to ourselves.
Yes, and it reminds me of the book when I was teaching third grade. It's called Have You Filled a Bucket? And I know, Tony, you know about that book too, because you had it in your classroom. And I feel like not only children need this book, but adults need it too. And it's a story about when you make someone else feel good and you're doing something nice for someone, you fill up their bucket. But in the process of filling up their bucket, it's filling up your bucket at the same time. So it always asks in the book, are you a bucket filler or are you a bucket dipper? I think that's the other option. So you can easily dip into other people's bucket because you feel insecure, you want to take away from their energy. And I think it's important, that question to ask, are you a bucket filler or are you a bucket dipper? So that's something that's really important too.
Exactly, and that could be energetically speaking too. Are you an energy vampire where you're like, you're trying
Yeah.
to suck other people's energy? And we're all guilty of this at certain times, but is it happening way too often in your life to where you're always trying to get other people's energy because you don't know how to create your own energy?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, well, we have to start to learn how to generate our own energy. And I love that book. And what is that book more in specific about?
I forget what the characters are, but the whole essence of the book is trying to get you to think about when you do something special for someone else, it actually makes you feel good inside. And it's trying to, reevaluate what you're doing throughout the day. And every Friday, I would have the kids, actually, every week, they would write a message about who was a bucket filler for them, what the bucket filler in the classroom did for them, and how it made them feel. And they'd put it in the bucket. And on Fridays, I would pick a few from the bucket and read them. And it just was focusing that energy on, wow, that's such an amazing feeling to give to people, but also you're receiving just by listening to that too.
Exactly.
So taking that in.
And that could be something they could do too, is maybe have a bucket at home
I know.
for themselves, or a journal. You don't necessarily need a bucket, but every time something fills you, whether it's something you do self-care, like going to exercise, or doing a hobby, maybe you love ping pong and you haven't played in a while, or jump roping or drawing. Every time something fills you up, fills your bucket, your body, your soul up, write it down in your journal. Every time you hang out with somebody and it fills you up, write it down with your journal. Because other people, just by being in their presence, they could help to fill your bucket too.
Yes.
Energetically.
Yeah. And I think it's something to look out for too, because this is something that I've found with the online world. And I did it when I first was starting my business. I remember messaging just different business owners. And I think now I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? But I would message them. I would get excited about something that they had, like a product that they had, and I absolutely loved it. And it wasn't anything to do with psychic mediumship stuff. It was like an online business. I remember messaging one lady and asking her about where she got different products from, like her lighting and her camera and blah, blah, blah. I didn't really know her. And I gave her a compliment because I felt that in the moment, but I also was asking her 50 million questions, and she had a course specifically for it. And I found out after actually being a business owner online that people do that a lot. They'll try to give you a compliment, which maybe they mean it, but then they take, and energetically, it's very depleting. So I find that a lot of people come to me and ask questions, and I like to help people, but I also have to honor my energy too. And that's a huge thing.
That is a huge thing, especially with business owners, because it's integrity.
Yes.
And I think what happened with Lindsay, she found, over the years, over the last 4 or 5 years building your business, you found the way you build a business is by focusing on giving.
Yeah.
First to herself, and then she fills her cup up and she's able to give to other people through videos, through blogs, free content, free stuff without
do the
asking people to
same.
buy. Yeah, and I do the same thing because that's the mindset you have to get. That's the mindset you have to get to in order to build a successful business, in order to build a successful relationship, in order to build a successful life. We have to get to the space of focusing on giving, once again, first to ourselves, and then we overflow and give to other people.
Right.
And once you understand that that's what it takes to build a business, you no longer start messaging business owners asking for free advice when you're coming not giving them anything.
Yeah.
Because other business owners that are successful, they understand the amount of work it takes, the amount of research it takes to get to that space. And like Lindsay said, that lady already had a course
Yeah.
to teach her all about that.
I could have purchased it, but I thought, oh, this is quicker. I could have looked at her free YouTube videos. So it's just kind of thinking outside of the box. And I'm not saying this to put down people that
No.
have asked for help, because I've done it. But I'm more aware now. I'm like, whoa, that's a lot. That's a lot. Because if you imagine how many people message different business owners, you get a lot of messages. I mean, there's some messages that I get, and this is being very honest about this, where I get private messenger messages where people cross the boundaries. There's boundary pushers. The ones that are boundary pushers are the ones that they don't have the boundaries themselves. And I can speak about this because that used to be me.
Exactly.
And I didn't even know I was doing it. So think about that. It's important. This is just about receiving and taking. Think about, what are you doing? So you have to be aware of it. And are you giving value? If it's one of my clients and they're getting readings with me and they're buying courses, oh my gosh, I love helping them because I can put my energy, I need to allot my energy into something. But if it's someone that's not a client and not a student that needs help, I might send them a link to something that I've already created to help them. But I can't live on the computer and continue to use that energy because I won't be good for anyone. And that's a lesson for you business owners that are listening. You have to really create that foundation. And if it keeps on happening, it's important for you to think, have I created clear boundaries for people? Are they unsure of my boundaries? And
Yes.
That's all about receiving and taking too.
It is, and it's all about once again, going back to focusing on giving value without attachment to anything. I mean, I've watched Lindsay make videos almost every day or every week, at least videos or content, some kind of advice out there for free because she genuinely wants to help people.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of days, a lot of years to really build the foundation of what you have now. And you understand what it takes. Mm-hmm. I don't know where I was getting at with that, but
well, it's just all about that balance. And if you're not a business owner and you're just someone that's living life and you like to help people, that's great. But also it is important to come back to self and figure out, what is it that I need? Am I depleted? Am I energetically drained and tired? There's a reason that you're feeling that. And it's very easy for people to point the finger and say, well, I'm not getting enough from my family, or I'm not getting enough from my friends. I'm feeling depleted. No, look at what are you giving too much?
Yeah.
Are you giving back to yourself?
And that would be a taker. Somebody
Yes.
who's saying, you didn't answer the phone, or you're not doing this, or you're not doing that, or you're whatever you're doing, they're taking. They're wanting to take. Give me your energy. Give me your energy.
Yeah.
They're not coming with the mindset of, hey, I'm here to give.
Yes.
I'm here to give. And once again, it's not just about here's money. All right, you're happy? I gave you something. Here's a present. No, it's more about just energy.
Yeah. it is.
Everything. Because you could feel when somebody's giving you energy, giving you their attention, or if they're just focusing on here. Let me get as much as I can. Let me get as much as I can. And it's draining.
Yeah.
It's very, very draining when you're surrounded by people who are always just trying to take. And, once again, it's not, like Lindsay said, if you're in this position where you're like, oh man, some of the stuff they're saying I've done, it's okay. Lindsay
Yeah.
said she's done it. I've done it before in the past where I'm messaging people that I hardly even know, don't even have a relationship with, and I'm trying to get something from them. Here, try a sample of my product. I'm messaging them, and I'm expecting
Not about
them.
your course.
Well, no, not my course.
You used to do the marketing
Well, yeah.
years ago.
It was like network marketing and stuff. Here, just try this product, and I expected them to just, okay, here, I'll try your product, and when they didn't, I would get pissed off at them. And it's like, that's so silly to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm coming from the space of taking. Here, I didn't give you any value, but here, I'm trying to take something from you. I need something from you. Buy my product, do this. And unfortunately in business, it doesn't work that way, and in life, it doesn't work that way. I mean, think about the natural laws of the planet. If you're wanting to plant a garden, you don't go to your garden and say, hey, give me some strawberries, give me some blueberries, give me some apples. The earth is gonna look at you like, what have you done here? You didn't plant any seeds, you didn't water the seeds, you didn't, I don't know the terms, but ground the dirt, do everything, the whole process. Everything takes a process. And when you boil down everything to the basics, the whole process is all about giving. So a farmer needs to give, and then finally the earth is like, okay, you've given enough. And it doesn't happen, it's not automatic like
No.
that. Sometimes the farmer will keep on planting, and then it'll be a dry season in the summer to where it burns all of their crops. Like my buddy Jim Rohn, my video mentor Jim Rohn, who unfortunately has passed away a couple years ago, but he always would talk about, sometimes it'll happen, or sometimes the birds will come down and eat the seeds that you planted. Those birds could be haters or trolls on the internet. They'll come down and try to slander your name or whatever it is. This is all part of the process. And somebody who's a successful business owner, who has a successful marriage or successful relationship or successful life, they understand that they had to focus on giving until they started to receive. And once they started to receive back, that's a whole nother step to this. Us as empaths, I know you're an empath if you're watching the show, or highly sensitive, we have to allow the receiving process to happen and get comfortable with that too. Because I remember at times especially when I first moved to Florida in 2011, all of a sudden I start to travel everywhere and I start to do all these great things, and I can remember in the moment not able to receive everything that was in front of me, and it was frustrating. So I had to teach myself how to receive as well.
And when that was happening, when Tony was experiencing that, I was like, wait, why doesn't he want to go? Or why doesn't he, like, I don't know if it was an excuse or it was like an energy thing. Like, he wasn't as excited as I was, but I didn't get it at the time. I understood it after, because then you got it, you know, what you were experiencing. But it was uncomfortable at the beginning. And I think that's a big thing, that when we're growing, it will be uncomfortable. Just like what we're talking about right now. When you stop listening to this podcast, you're going to think about and reflect on your life. You know, who are the givers in my life? Who are the takers? Am I giving just to take, or am I giving because I want to? Am I receiving well? It's going to make you think, and it's going to make you feel very uncomfortable. But that's a good thing. That's actually a good thing.
It is a good thing. When you're uncomfortable and you're anxious but excited at the same time because you know you're on the right path, that's when you know you're onto something. Mm-hmm. If you're comfortable, you're probably not onto anything right now.
Right.
You're just living the same way that you've always been living, and that's
so
unfortunate
true.
at times.
Right. So I think we should kind of wrap it up with some steps on what you can do to try to be a better receiver, but also a better giver, and someone that's great with the radar and trying to figure out, is this energetically feeling good? Should I receive this? So what can they do to really figure out what?
So with a lot of the people that watch our shows, they're highly sensitive, empathic. A lot of them are psychic mediums. I would say focus on, because more times than not, they are givers, but they might not be given to themselves as much. So I'd focus on two different things. I'd focus on start giving to yourself. Start taking time. What that means is take your valuable time that you have. We only have so much here on this beautiful planet here. And start to put slots in to do your hobbies, to do self-care, exercise, to eat proper nutrition. So start taking time to really give to yourself. And that might sound selfish to you, and it's going to be uncomfortable to you if you're not used to doing this, but it's going to allow you to give to others. And another thing I would say is, when somebody gives you a compliment, and when somebody does something for you, receive it. And it's going to feel uncomfortable too if you're not used to doing this. And trust me, with me at times it is uncomfortable too. Somebody will give me a compliment and I'll be like, yeah, but no, focus on receiving it and soaking it in, because that's part of the process. So focus on giving to yourself and focus on receiving even compliments. Like, Lindsay, that yellow shirt really matches your eyes. It compliments your eyes, and you look beautiful with it. See, Lindsay's receiving it right now. Sometimes Lindsay does it, but a lot of times she's teaching herself to receive different things. So we have to focus on that. I think those would be two things that they could do.
I like that. And I'm going to do something on the flip side. If you are, think about this. If you're giving to someone, the next time that you give to someone, I want you to ask yourself the question, are you giving out of guilt? Like, oh, I should do this? Or are you giving because you genuinely feel so open to give? Or are you giving to receive something back? Like, you're just giving because you need that praise. Think about those things. And I think that's going to make a big difference also. And if you find yourself answering yes to some of those questions, like, ooh, I'm giving to receive back, or, oh, I'm giving out of guilt, that means that you do need to go back to what Tony said and give more to yourself and that self-care. Because nobody outside of yourself can give you exactly what you need. You have to give to yourself first. Then you can really fully receive.
Yes. And when you get to that space to where I'm a giver, and you know the law of giving, and you focus on giving, first to yourself, fill yourself up enough, and then give to the others without attachment as much as possible, you're not even going to need the feedback from other people, because you're going to be fulfilled and you're going to feel great, and it's going to be easy.
It's
easier.
The law of compensation, or the law of giving, same thing. Once you give, you're able to receive, and it has that natural flow. So you have to have a balance between both things, and it's all about energy. So we hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much. Leave some comments and share with us your experiences with the episode. And thank you all for leaving a review on iTunes. We're so excited about all the comments. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye, guys.
We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. If you liked it, leave a 5-star review on iTunes, and remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel too.
If you can think of anyone else that would love this episode, share it with them right now on social media or email. And remember, getting results is a process of learning, applying, and reflecting. Stay consistent and continue to grow every day.